This video is brought to you by ncix.com. Great technology, selection, and service. Hey, hello everyone, I'm Dimitri with Hardware Canucks and welcome to another case review. The Antec P380 is under the spotlight, receiving the full Hardware Canucks treatment. Now this one is a little bit more special because I was excited about this particular enclosure, thinking this could be the return for Antec in the competitive sphere, just because it looks so awesome and on paper seems to be appropriate for a 2015 release. On the exterior, the P380 features beautiful aluminum top and front panels that look fantastic, especially with the curved ends that would satisfy any elegant space. However, this is a two-piece design with, I would say, too large of a gap between where the aluminum meets. Plus, I had to be really careful handling any of the edges because they were extremely sharp. Hopefully Antec can refine them, as I would actually consider them to be a hazard. The I/O is on the left side, sort of hidden between the top panel and the bottom plastic bit, with audio jacks, 4 USB ports, 2 of which are USB 3, and power and reset buttons that are located on the front behind the aluminum on both sides, which I appreciate for flexible case orientation. The aluminum front facade is spaced out to allow fresh intake without restriction, which is great, and I love the appearance of such space. But removing the entire front panel is just so inconvenient. It requires removal of 6 screws, and I wonder why, as the panel sits already on pretty strong hinges. The two 140mm fans here you see were installed at the top, and the P380 comes with no intake fans, which I find really odd for the price. But you could install triple 120mm fans here at the front as well. Now the front panel has the most ridiculous dust filter in the history of dust filters, as it removes from the bottom of the case. I guess there's the incentive not to keep the case on the floor or on some short pedestal, as the filter is actually plenty long and requires a good enough clearance. But even on the desk, the case plus full system inside makes it really heavy, so need to push it all the way to the hinge for filter removal is extremely inconvenient. Antec clearly understands the convenience of side filter removal, as that's exactly what they've done for the power supply filter, but unfortunately not for the front. At the back, it's a standard view with 9 PCI slots, an exhaust mount for a 120mm fan mount only, which is included, and I love the totally solid top panel that lets me put some items on top without worrying about restriction on any of the airflow. The panel is spaced out and ventilation is available on both sides. Removing the panel is pretty simple, but the I/O cables are attached to it, which made it more difficult to remove once the system is fully assembled and all the wires are cleaned up. But here again we see triple 120 and dual 140mm mounts. I love the side panel in this case, nice square window and good quality panels. The solid one has reinforcement plate that solidifies the entire assembly. And so I decided to put my entire workstation system inside the P380 because I absolutely love the elegant character of this case. But on the inside, there's really nothing special. We have 8 drive caddies that are SSD compatible, and all 3 drive cages are removable. But first you need to take out 33 screws. That's 29 too many. The drive cage is restrictive and there are no additional fan mounts in this space, which is surprising, and I'm disappointed that Antec ditched this awesome feature that actually was found on the 1100 tower back 4 years ago.
Moving on, the hard drive cage can support 2 120mm fans to provide additional airflow for the internals. Now, a really neat mounting system is in place for those fans, using no screws but clips that hold the fan sturdy to the cage. A really convenient mounting method to avoid any hassle during assembly.
Yeah, that was my voice 4 years ago. Anyway, it looks like some things haven't changed for the worse, like the rubber grommets on the side that are so far away from the ATX motherboard. I would like to see better cable management accommodation for common systems and not just tailor for eATX setups. The same story below the motherboard. There are no cutouts to help with simple cable management. The closest cutout is just too far away to achieve a clean look. Coming around to the back, it's good news that it's easy to secure all the cables and make sure the panel closes without any hassle, but where are separate SSD brackets to show that they're listening to what we want to see from a modern case? They have added a fan hub, but it's nowhere the quality we should expect at this price point, plus it's Molex powered and no PWM support. And to make things worse, each of the fans comes with its own built-in low or high setting, but it is internal and I don't want to open my case every time I need to change the speed. This approach feels outdated and no amount of aluminum will change that. Now sure, the end result looks awesome, especially with the panel on and the ambient lighting that I've added inside to highlight that hardware. But you cannot judge the case by the cover. I'm glad that I've put my full system inside just to realize that the P380 is not for me. Because of the difficult to access front filter, internal modularity is poor, and a Molex fan hub just doesn't make any sense without proper fan speed control. So it looks like the search for a new workstation case resumes. This has been the Antec P380 review. I'm Dmitry with Hard Rock Canucks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow for more similar content, and we'll see you in the next one.